Reports indicate that several firms have shut down and many others are on the verge of collapse as a result of the high cost of electricity tariff. Individuals and other categories of consumers, especially those categorized as Band A customers, are also lamenting over the effects of tariff hike on their daily lives. Correspondent Chinemere Mikebudam has been feeling the pulse of the consumers as a result of the tariff hike.
The first shocker that greeted Nigerians when President Bola Tinubu assumed office last year was his announcement about the removal of fuel subsidy. That singular pronouncement has expected snowballed into an astronomical increase in the prices of virtually every goods or services in the country. Then came the upward review of electricity tariff and the categorization of customers, in which those listed under Band A now having to pay about 209 naira 50 kobo per kilowatt hour, as against the previous 33 naira per kilowatt hour. Not even the End Bad Governance protests of August 2024 could make the president back down and review the policies. And overwhelmed by the outrageous electricity billing system, citizens still want the government and regulatory authorities to feel their pain.
Like where I'm staying at there, even though that I always off it as I'm coming out and go back, I pay not less than 15,000 in a month, which is very high.
You can't compare it. You can't compare it. This one now is very, very excessively expensive. You understand? It's excessively expensive.
The national chairman, Southeast Electricity Consumer Association, SECA, Reverend Obioha Okechukwu, accused the service providers of the act of extortion and exploitation against innocent and desperate consumers.
Rather, what they want to wait is for you because they feel you needed light, you are frustrated, you are intimidated, you are coerced. You can't wait to have light. Maybe you have a wire over your head and they are wondering why there will no light, and then they will come in because your transformer is bad. You now go and they say, buy a transformer. And the worst of it, the tricky sort of it, the stealing by trick, which we seek has observed, is that they will now tell you to donate it to EDC. It's a bundle of confusion and contradiction.
Obio has said this association was out to enlighten electricity users on the obnoxious practices of the regulators and distributors to further impoverish and inflict hardship on Nigerians, especially in the southeast.
We are working. We are only praying that their own kind of regulatory agency will not be like that of the neck that is now kwashiorkor reading and sickle cell anemic. They are not working. NEC is not working. It's not working. It's like it's a toothless bulldog.
The commissioner in charge of market operations in the newly constituted Enugu State Electricity Regulatory Commission, EERC, Ruben Okoye, said the commission will take over from the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NEC, on the 22nd of October following the deregulation of the energy sector. Okoye listed major policies to be put in place by the commission as soon as it takes charge.
And the service provider owes an obligation, an overriding obligation to provide that service. So what we do in this commission is to ensure that those two obligations are balanced out.
Okay.
So the obligation to provide power, provide reliable power, all right, that is the cost based on efficient cost, all right, and then the customer paying his proper share of the price for power. That proper share of the price, properly determined, the customer has an obligation to pay that. Where the customer cheats, it doesn't only cheat the service provider, it cheats all of us. Because he's stealing from us. We are going to be paying that money that he has not paid. So that is the...
A legal practitioner, Jonas Udensi, narrated the legal framework guiding electricity consumption and distribution. He urged Nigerians who feel that their plight has been trampled upon to come out and resist any form of intimidation or exploitation.
It will be more tidier to look at what the regulations say about the discos that supplies these services and the consumers themselves. Each party has a right, because the discos themselves, purchase the electricity from the transmission company and then sells to the consumer. So they also are there for business and to make profit. But the question is in delivering their services, where the services did not follow the regulation laid down by the regulatory body, here the NEC. The NEC is a body instituted by the National Assembly, which has the right to regulate what goes on in the power sector, electricity sector. So the question you ask is where the consumer is not getting a satisfactory service, what should the consumer do? Now, the regulation says, first, the consumer should complain to the supplier of that facility or that service. In this regard, in the East, we are talking about EEDC.
Udensi urged the federal and state governments and various regulatory agencies and other players in the sector to look into the plight of electricity consumers and save them from further agony. Chinemerem Ikebunam, Signature TV News.